So, our first time having gone all the way through, everybody's made a recommendation so far. It's come full circle where I made the first recommendation last time. And my kind of decision here as like we went along all the way through is that every movie that we've watched so far has been like, as far as literally starting with the highest grossing movie ever with Avatar. And progressively, like, we've done like some smaller ones, like Warrior was a much smaller scale movie, but still like
Not like a blockbuster.
yeah, but still well known. And then like uh 1917 was massively successful financially. I believe Train to Busan was also really successful. And then
I would assume.
yeah, and then Annihilation. I'm fairly certain Cole, you said it was like it didn't make its money back.
Yeah, it flopped a little bit.
Well, but still, regardless, those were movies
Compared to this.
Those were movies that all had a considerable budget and money behind them and star power. So I wanted to basically take as big of a departure as possible from that with my choice for this episode. Uganda's first action movie, Who Killed Captain Alex? From 2010. This movie had the equivalent budget of $200 American, made for quite literally like nothing. The director, Isaac Nabwana, had to like delete the original cut of the movie, just gone because he didn't have enough space on his computer to make room for Hollywood's
I didn't even know that.
progressive movies afterwards. And so it kind of ties into my opinion on the movie. I've known about this movie for a long time. It did get sort of cult-like status on the internet, on YouTube, for being, this like wacky, like insane movie. Like very famously, the scene of everybody in Uganda knows kung fu went viral. But then when I actually sat down and watched the movie for the first time a couple years ago, I thought that it was going to be, like, oh, this is like, so bad that it's good. And upon rewatch, my thoughts are the same and my appreciation is even deeper. My enjoyment of this movie is 100% sincere. I think it is legitimately entertaining, legitimately funny. VJ Emmy is a hoot. I love him. And like all the action is like engaging and fun to watch. And it's an instance where instead of laughing at it, I am laughing with it. And I think it really succeeds in that regard. So I'll pass it on to you guys. Because again, I'm the only one who's seen this. So this should be, I'm very curious as to what
interesting
you guys think.
takes.
Who killed
John,
Captain Alex?
We don't know.
I will agree 100%. I was not bored in this movie. I enjoyed the action, was surprisingly fun to watch. The movie was really funny. Like they were making jokes about the movie during the movie. Like the one scene where the lady's getting tortured, they're joking about like her watching a certain type of
cinema. Was it Nigerian movies? Yeah. She watched Nigerian cinema and they threw the water on him. That was so funny.
She watched Nigerian movies. Just kidding. It was so good, dude. I was like cracking up.
I wanted to ask who was
sincerely.
Was VJ Emmy the narrator?
That's VJ Emmy. Yes.
That's what I thought, but I wasn't 100% sure throughout it.
He told us who he was. Like,
good job.
Yeah, he's the video joker.
Yeah, and
he does a good job of when his narration actually adds to the movie. Like, I don't think I would have liked the movie without him narrating it. And there are points in the plot where it's a little confusing. And VJ Emmy comes in and says, "Remember, this is supposed to be happening," and you're caught like right back up.
He reminds you that you're watching a movie.
Multiple times. He says, "Best action movie."
My favorite line. I'll get it out of the way.
You're ready for the action.
He does just at one point say, "Movie."
Yeah, dude, this movie fucking rules. I don't even know what to rate this movie. I really don't, because like
it's definitely harder to rate it on the same scale.
I would agree.
Different.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah,
it's difficult.
It is.
I thought about
Uganda
it a lot.
out of 10.
Uganda. A
It is a
Uganda.
Uganda out of 10. And obviously, like, fucking Bruce Yu back here, like, just killing shit.
Mhm.
A
Oh my
national
God.
hero, to be
Yeah,
honest.
my favorite character.
So yeah, Uganda out of 10. I legitimately thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I might buy a poster for it. But yeah. Yeah, whoever wants to go next.
I thought Chris was chomping at the bits earlier.
Okay, I'll go.
go.
Who killed Captain Alex? I think it's like it's an utterly like ridiculous movie in the best way possible. Like it is really enjoyable, despite the fact that it's like, you know, filmed with a budget of $200. I do agree. Like that was like the main appeal for me was the video Joker and just how ridiculous
Yeah.
like everything he was saying was. But even if you ignore the video Joker, I think it's still like I think it still holds up. Without the like react content guy just like saying random stuff the entire movie. I think it still holds up. Again, like yeah, it's not a movie that you can really rate out of 10 in comparison to the movies that we've seen so far. But overall, I would say I enjoyed this movie a lot more than I thought I would. Compared to other movies that you know, have this so bad that it's good kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like at least this movie is aware. Like it's a very self-aware movie, I would say, in comparison to, you know, some other like just objectively bad movies. But yeah, I thought it was good.
I mean, I'll go next. So I actually wanted to say that I think the so bad that it's good doesn't really fit this. Because, like, yeah, it doesn't have the same budget, so it obviously doesn't look as good in certain aspects and stuff. But it's clearly made well, and something I really enjoyed about it is it's clear that everyone really enjoyed making it and had like a ton, like was really happy to be a part of it. And it, like you said, it's super self-aware. I think obviously I think definitely the narrator is the best part of the movie because when have you ever watched a movie like this? There's a whole new experience.
I wish they made American movies like that.
I want
a video Joker in U.S. movies.
That they made other movies. Like I can't remember the name. That's what I was trying to think of. They made more Ugandan movies since then, and I watched like 2 minutes of it, and it was the same way with the narrator and stuff. So it could be its own genre of movie eventually.
As far as I'm aware, that's pretty much entirely unique, like idiosyncratic to Uganda. So
it's stuff I've seen on like TV shows, you know, like they'll have a narrator making jokes throughout like a TV show in some countries, but never a movie like that. I've never watched that. But yeah, so there was a lot of, it's super original. There's nothing like that you're going to see. Obviously, like you said, like it's good to tell people you're watching a $200 movie when you watch it. Like you should prep people for that. But if you ask me, I would suggest to anyone, because it's hilarious the whole time, that it's a watch. Like you should watch. I'm gonna rate this on like a watch it. Like this is give it at least a watch. I don't think
$200 to watch this movie.
I don't think there's a ton of like rewatch potential other than it just being funny. You know, like it's not like an insane story movie, but it is incredibly funny. And I feel like its main drive is comedy, so I feel like it hits the mark on what it wants to be. So
yeah. Go ahead. I'll I'll save it for after. Yeah, go ahead. Whoever still needs to talk.
Yeah, I think it's me. I think I'm last. Yeah, I don't have that much to add to what you guys said. I just think this movie's like the perfect thing to throw on, like if you're hanging out with friends and you want to like kill some time, like just to like joke around and watch it. Like this is the perfect like movie to just sit back and like have fun. And yeah, like kind of like what you guys were saying, like parts of the movie when they were filming, like I was like, man, this would be really fun to film. Like just like dancing around, doing like kung fu, like rolling around in the woods, like pretending to shoot guns. Like
they're just running through the mud.
It just looked really fun. And then like the action scenes are actually like there were parts where it was like actually pretty cool. Like some of the karate and stuff. Like it kind of like they definitely didn't really plan ahead, but like you could have fooled me that like they had like somebody like choreographing some of the stuff they were doing. Like
they did what they could with $200, you know.
Yeah, I mean, there's
exactly only so much expertise. But you can only do so many shots. You know, they're not going to be able.
And like you know, every like director of like a U.S. movie has like a background, and like they went to college for like years.
I think that's even unfair. they have
And-
hundreds of people working on it. Is really the difference. Like they have so much more manpower
Yeah,
and
they-
time.
There's a lot of dedicated roles like cinematographer, sound.
100 editors. You know, like it's a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah, and the editing wasn't like, I mean, like the helicopter stuff was a little goofy, but like,
There was
all things
definitely.
considered,
I
it
mean,
wasn't
I don't
that
think
bad.
you should. Yeah, I don't think you should lie. Like, there's obviously parts you look at it and it's like, well, like
Yes.
you know, it
Yeah,
looks
no,
goofy, but it.
again,
I think it adds to it. Like it is aware that obviously they couldn't do that, so they didn't try to. And I think that's intelligent. Instead of like doing pretending you're doing something you can, just go with it. Like, you know, like it's enjoyable. Like when they're on the helicopter, it's so funny.
now a
Like
complaint.
it feels they're completely aware of it. I
a
feel like.
complaint that I
Yeah.
have about this movie, though. Again, and I won't.
There's some
that-
complaints.
I
for
won't
sure.
necessarily say this is like a budget thing. There's just like no establishing shots, like scenes just
Yeah.
cut from one to the other. It's jarring.
Yeah.
It's jarring every time.
There's no transitions.
Yeah,
That could
There's
be
definitely
lost
something to
footage,
be
too.
said to the dialogue, like the actual dialogue when it's not trying to be funny. I had even hard time sometimes telling who was talking because like it wouldn't even like focus on who was talking and stuff. I was like,
yeah.
I wasn't sure who was Captain Alex at first. Like luckily he said something. I was like, oh, that was Captain Alex.
That's a budget thing, I
I'm-
imagine. The
Yeah,
lack-
I would.
They
I
probably only had
imagine
one
it's
camera.
it's probably a little of both.
Yeah.
You know, I would feel a little bit of inexperience and that, but good.
I love that the leader of the Tiger Mafia's name is just Richard.
Yeah.
Richard is a dude named Richard. And
Evil Richard. Evil Richard.
I love when his brother dies, and throughout the whole rest of the movie, every time he shows up, he goes,
Yeah, he's
Crying
so
noises.
sad. He's so sad about the
"Wait, I thought
his
it.
brother
I
getting
thought.
captured.
Well, he's upset, but I thought it was supposed to be the narrator just making fun of him,
Oh,
like
it's a,
clearly
it's
for
a
being
mix of
upset
the two.
about-
He
Yeah.
does cry. Like Richard himself does cry. Like
Yeah, yeah.
He does not listen to bad news.
But VJ Emmy's also going.
My brother. Jesus.
Oh, can I say my favorite line from the movie?
Sure.
So the first like battle with the commandos and Captain Alex, it honestly, once again, is something that's probably the budget where they couldn't have like legit costumes. I like couldn't always tell who was part of what group, but it was so funny every time the commandos were on screen. We'd go, "Commando," and I would die of laughter because it helped me because I was like, "Is that a commando or what were they called? The Tiger
Tiger
Mafia,
Tiger Mafia.
Yeah.
deadliest mafia, Tiger
Dude,
Mafia."
That guy.
Anytime you have a question, the fucking VJ Emmy comes in with the
Yeah.
answer. Like every
Yeah.
think of it, and then it's right there.
Well, it's
Good.
intelligent. I would, like I said, I would like to see like movies like this get more traction and see like as they get more budget for movies that
Yeah.
like this type.
Like this movie was like an unexpected success because like it says in the opening, you know, Isaac Nabwana, he never expected anyone outside of his village to ever see this movie.
Yeah.
And then, you know,
Yeah.
like,
Hey, it was made with heart, you know.
yeah. And then like
People are gonna like that.
they have like made like a lot of money back off of the, you know, people supporting it, and it's been able to help them fund their subsequent projects. I was checking Hollywood's website, Who Killed Captain Alex 2. It's in the works.
Oh,
It's in the works.
It's
Oh,
it's in the
shit.
works. I didn't
So
want
wait,
to spoil
did
it
we-
too early.
Did we
I
ever
just like
find out?
goosebumps.
We didn't find out who killed Captain Alex, right? Like
No,
I thought
never
that was
know
a
who
joke,
killed
right?
Captain Alex.
I thought that was a joke, right?
No,
Yeah,
they
I
don't
would-
know. Richard doesn't
Yeah, I wanted
know.
to make sure.
The commandos
No
don't
one-
know.
He just died. He
He
just
just
shot
he got
himself.
killed.
No, I
Yeah.
realized like halfway through, I was like, they didn't bring it up again. I think it's just gonna not answer it. I thought it was so funny.
Captain Alex doesn't die until 30 minutes into the movie. So it's
Yeah.
like I thought he was
Well,
gonna die at the beginning.
halfway through.
like the character, like he's the main character for the first like 30 minutes, and then he dies. Like, it's
And then they're
okay.
just like, it's his brother. Here's his brother.
Yeah, Bruce
Bruce Monk.
Bruce Yu.
Bruce Yu. And then yeah, it turns out he's the Ugandan Bruce Lee. Bruce Yu. Who was the girl he found? I couldn't remember who she was.
That was
Guy's wife.
his
Richard's-
wife.
one
That
of
was
his wives.
Richard's wife. that he
Richard's
shot-
wife.
That he
Okay.
fucking shot.
He shot in the shoulder.
Who's the bitch? You.
Dude,
You.
I was so mad when like Bruce Yu was catching fish and like she takes the first one, it's like, all right, she's hurt, that's fine. But then he catches another one and he's super excited to eat it, and she just goes, can I have that one too? It's like,
Yeah, and then doesn't
fuck
it cut? He
you.
goes
What the
fuck,
fuck?
and it cuts. Yeah, and it cuts.
Probably my second
pissed
favorite
off.
VJ Emmy line because like Bruce Yu like turns to look at her and he doesn't say anything. It's
But,
VJ
yeah.
Emmy going filling in the thoughts that he's having. Like
What
what
Yeah,
the fuck?
the fuck? I
And then
really enjoyed VJ Emmy. There was one part where I was getting a little sick of him because he kept saying VJ Emmy, best this and that, and he said it like so many times. I was like, all right, let's get on. Like,
I was
next
Yeah.
joke.
that was probably my biggest thing. I was curious as to what you guys were gonna think about was VJ Emmy. You know, like does he like how much he contributes to the experience?
A lot. Oh,
or how
was-
much he
he
detracts.
He was pivotal
I-
to the movie, but I do think there was times he didn't land as like great. You know, I don't think
Yeah.
it worked 100% of the time.
That's probably my biggest complaint. Like, at least for me personally, like probably at like the 45-minute mark, I was kind of like checking out. I was like, I don't know. The movie ran a little long for me personally.
Really, see, the part I was least interested in was
Yeah.
the beginning because, like I said, I couldn't tell who was who. I didn't know what the narrator was. I was like, is the narrator talking in real life? Like, is he there?
Isn't the video Joker like he's not a part of the original production team? It's like somebody that comes in later and adds. Like so like there is the original movie without the video, without VJ Emmy,
Yeah,
and then it's like a later thing, right? Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah,
yeah.
he
I
talked
definitely
over
think
in post.
VJ Emmy makes it a lot better, in my opinion. I don't think it would be awful without it, but I think it adds a lot with him in there because there's just nothing like that.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, VJ Emmy, the very beginning when they're going to the Tiger Mafia camp and they're walking in slow motion, VJ Emmy
Yeah.
walk slow because their minds are slow.
Such a good line. Such a good
And then he's
That-
like,
that-
it's like now we turn into a musical.
Yeah.
And then like the music kicks in.
He goes, wow, this is very good music. No, dude, that brings me to the my favorite character in this entire thing, other than VJ Emmy, is the mercenary, the guy who's dressed in
Yeah.
red.
He's like
He's
Russian
without it
mercenary?
on
The
He's
Russian
like, I don't want a
mercenary.
beer. Yeah, he's a Russian
I was
mercenary.
bummed. I was bummed when he died at the end, dude. I was like, no way, the mercenary dies.
I forget. Does Richard die? No, he just gets
He
captured.
They
right?
catch him.
He's
Yeah, they
captured.
capture him.
Yeah.
I don't know why I couldn't remember all of a sudden. When he gets introduced, remember they like try to hide it from him, and then he just sees it on TV, and then it's like immediately on the news, and then somehow later on they capture those same news girls and use them to broadcast it to. Was it where
Everybody.
they brought? Was it Bruce Yu or? Oh yeah, because they was trying to get his brother back.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm coming for him. He also beats the crap out of the mercenary and everyone else. Like, they're just holding guns and he's just beating the shit out of them.
he like throws like a spool of wire at him. It's like on the ground, just chucks it at him.
He is mean as hell. Like,
Yeah,
they weren't
he's
kidding.
a
They're like,
real
"He's
son of a
crazy."
bitch.
They're like, yeah, say that.
Dude, yeah, Bruce Yu's like the best part. He's coming out of like training in the water.
He's a
like,
monk.
he does not need wings to fly.
Yeah. I want to get that on a shirt, dude. That would make me feel so motivated.
Bruce Yu and the mercenary, definitely my favorite characters.
No, I was.
I'm trying to. I know my favorite part of the movie. Wait, I just remembered, John. I got to bring this
Yeah,
up. When he
yeah.
Bruce Yu first shows up, and he's just like, "I'm his brother, a monk from blah blah blah," and then there's like, comes he like show me the body, and he goes in there, and they're like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" like why does he act like he knows what's going on? We're
What did they
military.
call him?
And they don't know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
And then he robs them. Remember,
just a
he's like, "Where's my
civilian."
brother's money?" He steals his brother's money. It's the first thing he does. He goes, "Where's the money?" I was cracking up at that.
Well, Nate, you know how in the beginning, like you said, you didn't really know what was going on.
Yeah, I was
Uh,
so confused.
Yeah, so I was trying to figure out like who the good guys were and who the bad guys were, like before the mafia showed up. And there was
Remember
a
they got a
line.
fight in the bar?
Well, yeah, but before that, they were like making camp, and the guy was making food, and they were like, "What is that?" And he was like, "German food," and they're like, "Oh, what's that?" And they were just eating German tourists.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Wait, are these the good guys?"
I forget what did they say about him? They tasted like something. I forget.
He said, "Save me the head" or something.
Yeah. Was that the Commandos or was that Tiger Mafia?
That was the
that was
commando.
That was
Commandos.
Commandos.
Oh my god.
That was the good
Yeah.
guys.
I'm making German food. German food? Yeah, we found German tourists. We're cooking them. Oh, very, 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 very good. Delicious. Serve me the head. Like Predator.
I like how through the whole movie though they're super incompetent for some reason, like, but they kind of crush them in the end.
Yeah, they only managed to capture that guy from the Tiger Mafia just because they have sheer numbers. Because there's like four Tiger Mafia guys, and the Russian mercenary kills like 70 people.
Yeah.
He goes so insane.
Wait, what
Killing
happened?
his own people.
What happened to the guy they brought in to take out he's good at taking out drug dealers? Like the lady just showed up and was like, my uncle is the best. He's the best guy for hunting drug dealers. They're like, oh sweet, get him in here. He just happens to be on vacation here right now. What was
He's,
his
from
name?
Colombia.
Yeah, he's like
Vietnam,
from Colombia and
Yeah.
shit. Does he die?
Yeah,
I knew he's the one
gets
that
hurt.
I think he gets hit and then he captures Richard after, right? And then they're just like, who killed Captain Alex? And it ends.
yeah,
'Cause
who killed him?
even though, like, yeah, the commandos succeeded in their goal of defeating the Tiger Mafia, who killed Captain Alex?
Yeah.
I want
Was it all
to
for nothing?
I want to hear your theories. Who do you think? Who do you think killed Captain Alex?
I think he killed himself
Oh, explain.
That's what I think as well.
because he said some like shit about like what was it like those who like bath with themselves or with a gun or something. Like I don't remember the exact line. I should
right,
have
yeah,
wrote
he's
it
talking
down.
about bathing with a gun and he takes it with him
Yeah.
to go get a bath. I
Yeah.
forgot about that.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
but
didn't even-
he,
thought it-
he was like excited to like crush it off that lady. Like,
Yeah, but
I don't
maybe
think
he
would do it then.
Yeah,
Maybe
I'm
he
not
did it by
saying it's like
accident.
a full.
He was about to get some cheeks, Chris. You think he'd kill himself?
I'm just saying, like I don't know.
No,
Yeah,
I-
we just
I
poked
think it
holes in
was-
that theory.
I thought it was going to be an accident because he was talking. He's like,
Mhm.
I take a gun when I go to the toilet. And the lady's like, what? Or it might have been
Yeah.
VJ Emmy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like
I
he was
thought it
caught
was
in the
gonna be, like-
crossfire, like scared somebody or something.
that's what
Like
I
his
think.
own soldier shot him.
I think the killed himself route is kind of the best route now because you brought back that gun I forgot about. Because the mercenaries said they got there and he was already dead, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah, Tiger Mafia definitely.
and then they
didn't
just
kill him.
kidnapped 2 random soldiers.
That's
Why?
like
I don't
Captain
know.
Alex is dead, but we got these 2 guys. Just 2 random.
And Richard's like, why the fuck would I want them? And starts beating them up.
Richard's a good villain. He did a good job.
He's an
Yeah.
effective villain, I think.
Yeah.
He's just a real jerkweed.
He beats up his wife. What is he says something to her like, "Why would I need you? I got 12 wives."
Yeah,
Something
yeah.
like-
Just shoots her.
Do you remember when they say she's like, well, I was what does she say? I was like, I was forced to marry him, and then it cuts the scene where she was tied up and she was watching Nigerian movies, and they splash her. That's how she got married to him. Remember? That was how they got married.
She was like laughing like she was supposed to get tortured and like trying to pretend that it was like hurting.
Hey, she screamed the hell out of
They
it. I'll
threw-
give her
they
that.
threw water on her, and she's like big screaming.
She was like, I was like, is it hot water? Like she was like, "Blah."
I was like, "Yo, what was in that?"
If it was just cold, she
It
was hyping it.
It was
Like,
boiling water.
yeah, was it boiling water? Because
Oh, I
I
don't
think it
know.
would have fucked her up more.
That's what you get. That's what you get
My
for watching
headcanon.
Nigerian movies.
You get boiling water.
We
don't.
don't do that in Hollywood.
Yeah, she got off light.
Yes, you could get
Yeah.
killed for that.
They
Yeah.
were
Easily.
eating people at the beginning.
Yeah, for watching German
Eating
movies.
German tourists. I bet they taste good.
Dude, that's
Yeah,
at the very
apparently the
beginning.
head's
They're
the
building the
best part.
clubhouse. He's like, "Here, I want dancing girls, pretty girls," and then
I forgot
we'll
about
build the
that.
football pitch.
Yeah.
So didn't they say that where they gave them to stay was like where they used to shit? Like that's where they used to go to the
Oh, I remember
bathroom.
that.
Yeah, I think they.
He was like, I'll
when
let
they
you guys
got
know
him-
when I go
yeah.
bathroom.
Yeah, yeah. He's
Oh,
like, I'll
yeah.
let you know when I'm going to use it.
They during like the beginning of the first big action sequence, that one guy from the Tiger Mafia is like, "Hey, I have to go pee over here." And VJ Emmy comments like, "He has a very dangerous weapon" as he's peeing. Like I guess he's just referencing his cock. And that guy fights off like 6 commandos at once.
It was a dangerous weapon. Oh yeah, no. Remember, he goes super kicker, and then he never shows up again.
He just runs away. I don't know.
Runs away, and he's gone. Never comes back. Super
5
kicker.
commandos surround him. They're like, "There's nowhere to go," and then he fucking like drop kicks one of them. And
They're
like,
so
turns around and
incompetent.
whips
It's so funny.
That's the thing, though, is like we see they suck at shooting. Like their gun skills are terrible. But when we get to the scene, everybody in Uganda knows kung fu. They're kicking ass, dude.
Yeah.
Apparently, they're just bad with guns.
They suck with guns. I don't know why they don't just like
It's the stormtrooper effect.
yeah.
I remember the mercenary that Sam's talking about, and he ran into Captain Alex, was it? Or it was like Captain Alex's right-hand man, and they just like stare at each other for a second, and then instead of shooting each other,
Oh yeah.
they run behind cover and then start spraying around. I forgot to mention,
dramatic.
Sam, do you remember the mercenary's gun? It's just two tubes
Yeah.
taped together. It's so funny. And they just animate bullets. And
Dude,
they
it's
never
so
bring it
good.
up. They never call attention to it. It's so funny. Everyone else has like at least fake looking guns, and he just has two tubes.
Yeah.
It's just like it needs to look like a bigger gun.
I liked it. I felt like it was probably on purpose. Like everyone else had fake guns. Why'd they give him two tubes? You know?
He's got like a
I-
one of those like primitive Chinese guns, like the first kind of gun where it's like
but it's clearly a machine gun when he shoots it. It looks like a cannon. I thought he was holding a
Belt
cannon. Yeah, he is wearing the fucking
yeah,
thing.
the Russian mercenary. Yeah, his gun is crazy. He's got
To be fair, I know how goofy it is, but he is feeding the thing. You have to hold like the belt up so it doesn't jam. So like he knew what he was doing. He was a legit mercenary.
Whenever they were pretending it, he was committed. There was a lot of guys in this movie. I was like, they're committed.
Oh,
They
yeah.
stuck with it.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about in the beginning, like once again, when I had no clue what the hell was going on. They were at that bar, and that girl was singing, and they just start dancing on her, and the dude comes up, that's my wife, and a big brawl breaks out, and they get their ass beat again, dude. The fucking Commandos take no W's in this whole movie. It's
Bloody.
L's
I thought
left
somebody
and right.
was dead.
yeah.
Yeah,
Captain
that
Alex
one guy
shows
has
up.
blood all over his
Yeah,
face. I was
dude,
like,
he gets
killed him.
punched one time, and he was gushing blood down his face.
Just throws the bottle for like no reason. At
Yeah.
the very end.
Yeah, they throw that bottle really close to that lady's head.
Wait,
I
doesn't he make a
know.
joke? Yeah. Right at the end, he throws a bottle at her for no reason.
Yeah, the fight's like already over. Everybody left, and he just throws it at her head.
Yeah, dude,
I'm trying to
that-
think of anything else.
Dude,
I,
like
uh,
fucking
oh,
the
go ahead.
subtitles, whenever they use like the or like there's a word that ends in er, they just put an a.
Yeah,
Like
duh,
anytime
Yeah,
they
it's a
said
Ugandan
super,
way.
it was super.
Really?
It was great.
Yeah,
duh, best
because
of
when
the
they said
best.
super kick, it was SUPA.
Oh, that's why he said super kick. I didn't
Yeah.
realize that.
Super kicka.
Yeah, see, that's something interesting too. It was really cool to see like another culture's sense of humor in like a comedy. So it was really fun to
Yeah.
like see that, and it was funny. It was different jokes than I'm used to hearing.
Yeah,
You know.
Yeah.
this is
Movie-
their. Go ahead, Tim.
Okay, well, if you want to make another point, I might change like grooves here. So if you're
No,
on
no.
topic, like keep going.
No, go ahead.
Okay, I was gonna say this movie kind of brings up an interesting discussion for like what movies need to be, because this is clearly like a horribly made film. It's like terrible in like every measurable way, but we all really enjoyed it, and I would rather watch this than the Fantastic Four 2015 remake, like without a doubt, any day of the week. And
It's
like,
definitely not a visual spectacle. It's not. I don't think it's supposed to be like that.
I
it's
think
just a
knowing the
weird, like-
context of the movie like helps
How-
a lot.
I think
and
it's
going into it
important.
without that,
You shouldn't
yeah.
sit down and think this is going to be a blockbuster. I was actually going to make a comparison, Sam. So I just watched the new Avatar today,
Oh my
which is
God.
like an action movie, and it's probably like one of the most expensive movies ever made. Honestly, I just sat through 3 hours of that. I would have much rather sat through an hour of this. But obviously, that movie is visually stunning, like far better. But like even just going to like the action scenes in this, I was just talking about how the new Avatar was riddled with plot holes, especially in the action where you had no clue what was going on. Like, so this is an action comedy, like it's clearly that's what it's going for. And I think in both aspects, it did at least as well as Avatar did. Like with action, like, yeah, I had no clue what was going on, but neither did I really half the time in Avatar. Like, it was just all over the place. And
yeah.
and then this was funnier. So I get Avatar's definitely also a drama, but this movie was hilarious, and its intention was to be hilarious. So
Yeah, it's a weird like I think it's
for
easy to get
$200
wrapped up.
they
Yeah,
did
it's-
$200.
It's easy to get wrapped up in like all this like visual masterpiece or like this really artistic movie, when
Hey, I like
something that
artistic
you can
movies,
make with a lot of heart is going to be entertaining and is going to have an audience. It just speaks to like movies as an art form
it is
to be
important
so
that
broad and so like appreciated by so many different people that I think like trying to get too specific, it kind of is. I see why John likes this movie, and because you don't like to rate things on a 1 to 10 scale,
Mhm.
where this movie kind of pokes holes in like there is no objectively good movie because this movie's awesome. This movie fucking rules.
Well, like
Yeah.
there are
yeah.
objective qualities
Well,
that you
there's
can
a-
measure about a movie.
Yeah.
Like obviously, like you were saying,
technically,
technical aspects,
Yeah.
and then like even on like a script basis, like if there are like glaring inconsistencies with like the way things play out in a script, like that's probably an objective
and
problem.
yeah, like we said, we should. I don't think this movie's perfect in any aspect,
Oh,
but
no,
it's
not by any stretch.
I wanted to say it's people undervalue the importance of entertainment. That this is a form of entertainment.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
art. But if I say this all the time. If I sit down and watch this movie and I don't want to watch it, no matter how artful and good it is, like good objectively it is, then it's a bad movie. At the end of the day, if you don't want to watch it, that's the whole point, is to make you sit there and capture you. And yes, you want to get a point across and tell a story, but if you don't want to sit there and watch it, which is why I hate on Marvel movies all the time because they suck. But hey, if you sit down and you enjoy it, what the fuck can I tell you? They do what they're supposed to do, and that's why sometimes they're great. Some of the best, but it's a complicated topic for sure.
Well, I
Yeah.
think
One
Yeah,
thing. Oh, go ahead.
Got it, cool. You haven't gotten to talk.
Well, I was kind of gonna change topics a little bit, but I feel like
Fuck you,
I
John.
feel like I mean, you can go if you want, but I feel like a lot of stuff now, like recently, like American things are like trying to be self-aware and like break the fourth wall, and like they're trying to like use that to be funny, and I feel like they're really lazy with it. I think this movie
For
actually
sure.
did it way better than like the recent American movies and TV shows that have been like trying to do that. Like,
Yeah. This movie doesn't try to be Deadpool.
Hey,
It's
it's
like-
original. It's
Well,
original.
yeah.
You can't take that from it.
This movie is like self-aware, and like VJ Emmy is obviously like self-aware. But I think like what like the reason why it succeeds, Cole, I think, is because it's not making fun of itself. It's not being like, oh, look how bad this is. like
Hmm.
like we're self-aware, so we can excuse how
I feel like
bad
sometimes
this
they do intentionally like call like, yeah, we couldn't make this look
Yeah,
amazing, like the
obviously.
plane, like the helicopter scene. And I think that's what you should do there. Like it's like, well, we can't. Well, we're gonna have
Yeah,
fun with it then.
there's
like
there's no cynicism in the self-awareness.
yeah,
It's like it goes back to like kind of my thesis of the movie, is that it's a matter of authenticity. This is authenticity. This is as authentic probably as you can get. People who, by any means necessary, they made this movie. Because I was reading an interview with the director, and it was something along the lines of I could pull up the direct quote when I edit this, but he was like, you live a short life. You're only on this earth, for once. It's a short life. If you want to make your movie, or you want to do what you want to do, you got to do it. You don't have enough time to just not.
you're gonna die.
Even if
Yeah,
you don't
I-
have the budget, you got to do it.
I think a common thing is
film
like,
friends.
if they can make a movie
Exactly.
with
That's pretty much how film
with
prints do it.
$200, they can make a movie. Then like anyone can make a fucking movie, and that's
Anyone can. That's something that
Yeah.
gets forgot about because of the spectacle of movies that exist nowadays. To steal a quote from that movie I was just talking about, the new Avatar, John, one of the characters says, "If you can't get out of it, then get into it." Like that's. I think that's a good idea for that.
And it's like, obviously I love, like movies that have like a big budget, and
I love visual spectacles. Don't
Yeah,
get me
sure,
wrong.
sure.
Like something to look. Give me something to look at.
yeah.
I like a beautiful shot.
But I feel like you can tell, even with like a $200 budget versus like a $200 million budget, it's a matter of how much did the people that made it, how much did they care? And
Yeah.
how much sincerity
Oh,
went into
absolutely.
the creation of it. And it shines through both ways. You see it in a movie like this, or, you know, even like a good Marvel movie, you can tell they're like, yeah, like, you know,
They cared.
They
you know?
cared. Yeah, it's not like just a
Yeah,
You get out what you put in, you know.
It's not just like a corporate boardroom, decision.
Pushing out a
You
movie.
you can tell
Pushing out a
passion
movie.
that is put
Yeah.
into a movie, and it doesn't matter if it's like you said, John. Literally, the point you exactly made. It's like you can tell which Marvel movies were made by a passionate director. I think Star Wars is the best example of that. Like all the movies that are made with like all the shit that Dave Filoni did. Dave Filoni grew up as a Star Wars fan. He's the guy who created like the Clone Wars and all of that stuff, like post George Lucas, pre Disney. All of that stuff is super well made, but it's you can also tell that he took the time to like really delve into the characters and really take the universe seriously because he's so passionate about it versus the Disney corporate bullshit like
Yeah, there's no
we have
there's
like,
no corporation backing
Yeah.
who killed Captain Alex trying to make
Forcing it
movie.
out.
yeah.
Yeah.
It is this guy's so passionate about making this movie, and you can just you can just tell.
It's definitely important to enjoy these type of movies because you don't get them all the time. That's why indie movies, of course, are always important, or independent, any type of art or entertainment. Why it's always important to at least try to give it some type of light. I mean, I'm not saying you got to go out of your way to watch every indie movie that comes out, but when you get the chance, here or there, give it some love.
Yeah, it's always fun to root for the little guy.
The underdog. That's definitely what these movies feel like, are like underdog movies. Like they shouldn't be good, but I loved it. I was into it.
I wish we would have started this podcast sooner because then we could have gone as these characters for Halloween. Like, I would have loved to be the
Bruce,
mercenary.
Bruce, you,
baby.
Bruce, you just wore a tracksuit. Also, I like that. That's like how you know he's a martial artist. Is he's just wearing a tracksuit.
I do want to clarify: nobody's wearing blackface for Halloween. So.
yeah. You gotta maybe take it a step back.
There would be no way practically, like, dude, fucking the mercenary. I'd be the mercenary. I call dibs if we ever do that.
No one can do. I
want to be Bruce. He's wearing like the sleeveless shirt and stuff.
Who's gonna be Captain Alex? Who's gonna be
I'll
dead?
be Richard then.
I feel like I'd be Captain Alex.
Chris just wants to be dead.
I do appreciate how each character is like different, like major characters just wear one solid different color, so you can pick them out super easy.
Hey, clever, make it work.
Yeah, I appreciated it.
There was definitely some, like I said, with the commandos, I couldn't tell. So thank God with the main characters.
It was just like, he's wearing a flat green thing.
I thought it was the commandos were wearing camo and like green, and then the Tiger Mafia was wearing more urban outfits, like they were wearing jeans and shit.
Yeah.
I never found that hard to
VJ,
figure out who is who as far as like groups.
Actually, something I wanted to mention, dude, is something cool about a movie being filmed in Uganda is, I mean, not all of it is obviously like the prettiest place on earth, but there was very beautiful, like John said, if they could have did landscape shots or like establishing shots, they probably would have been beautiful. There was a lot of very pretty like areas they filmed in that you could just like see in the background. Like by was it a river where he was fishing at or something?
Yeah.
It was very pretty, where even the place they fought at. Yeah, the jungle stuff was very pretty.
The jungle, there was like those little like streams in the jungle that were all like muddy and stuff. Like it was cool, dude. I like the set. Like
I mean, I've never been to Uganda. It was cool to see it for sure.
I think like it's a combined thing that it's like a twofold thing that I think is really funny, which is like in like the beginning of the third act, whenever that guy from the Tiger Mafia, the guy in the white shirt, who is like just as much of a powerhouse as the Russian mercenary, like the two of those guys can literally just defeat the commandos.
They do everything. They're the only two other characters.
If the commandos didn't have so much like manpower, they would just win this. They would lose this war. But
they won by attrition. They just sent them at them.
Yeah, they went Soviet Union on.
They Zap Brannigan'd it. They won.
But as the guy in the white shirt is he has a name. His name's Puffs. I just remembered.
I was trying to think of his name.
Puffs.
How do you remember that?
Because that's what Vicky.
Did the mercenary have a name?
I don't
think so.
I don't think
names
so.
were kind of hard for me to catch throughout.
The spy Vicky mentions that's his name. So, but as he's progressing towards the helicopter, he passes through it. There's like a shot of that field of birds, and the VJ it's like Dinosaurs.
Oh, yeah, that is one of the funniest parts I forgot about that. It's just like it's flamingos, isn't it, or something?
Yeah.
They're like,
Swans,
they're like
I
these
think,
big
or
white birds.
blue
I don't know.
hair.
Yeah,
Which
dinosaurs.
is funny because it seems so random. However, and like, you guys might know this, but originally, like, dinosaurs were thought of being as like closely
They're
related
feathered.
to reptiles.
Reptiles,
But
yeah.
in reality, as paleontology has evolved, it's like pretty darn close to thinking that the closest relatives to dinosaurs are birds, like chickens, specifically.
avian
Yeah.
creatures.
So like that's a scientific observation by VJM.
Yeah.
He's a smart guy.
Do you think that's what he was going for, or do you think he was being
I have
funny?
no idea.
I do not think. I don't think he really thought about it. I think he saw the birds and was like dinosaurs, and it
I don't
worked.
think he thought about it at all.
Hey, I'm not going to disrespect his intelligence. I think
No,
I'm
he
not
had that.
disrespecting. Hey,
had
hey,
that
he was
already.
trying to make me laugh, and he made me laugh.
But then, another thing, like not too long after that, when the commandos are starting their infiltration of the Tiger Mafia base, it cuts to like inside as like Richard and all of them are contemplating what their move should be, and then like Bruce Yu is just like thrown onto the ground by one of the guys. He's like, look at this guy we just found like walking around outside. He like
Wait, what does Bruce Yu do at the end? He doesn't really fight anyone important,
he
by the way.
beats
Doesn't he
up-
just like fight a bunch of the Tiger Mafia? Like
Yeah.
he doesn't capture anybody. What is his
But
story?
that's the funny
What
thing.
was Bruce
He's
Yu's motivation?
He just
He's
shows
just
up at the
cool.
base.
He's revenge.
Captain Alex's brother.
Revenge.
Yeah,
revenge.
he
was
doesn't
a
get it.
gangster.
Alex's
It was,
brother.
but he doesn't get revenge.
That was his motivation, though.
He just beats up
Hey,
a couple
and
guys.
we-
No, 'cause
don't
I
know
actually
who
wanted to
killed
bring that up,
Captain
and I
Alex.
forgot. The only bit of morality really brought up throughout the movie is when he goes to his martial arts master, and for some reason no one knows him there, even though that's his master,
The fat master.
the fat master.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fat master.
That was an
And
out
he's
of
like-
pocket comment by VJM. That was just an average looking guy. He's like the fat
Yeah, he was
master.
fake. And then he's like, I can't help you, or you can't use martial arts for revenge or something. It's like the only bit of morality really brought up in the movie. It's hard to remember because it's only that one scene. But I wanted to add, was that his arc? Because he didn't really
Yeah.
fulfill it in the end. I obviously this is not how you
mean,
want to
like-
critique this movie, but it's funny.
Well,
Yeah.
To try to think about.
You kind of have to a little bit in some ways.
I think it was actually a very deep. That's why he had to defeat them. That's how he got over his brother dying, because he clearly it's not that important at the end of the movie. So
Well,
He got-
the sequel's in the works, so maybe it'll pop
maybe
up.
Ugandan Bruce Lee's gonna make it back.
He's,
Make a
he's
comeback.
got something cooking. There was a
Yeah, who knows? Maybe this actor will be like their Bruce Lee. You never know long term.
I hope so.
I would hope so
Yeah.
too.
he was
You
my
would,
favorite character.
his introduction was my favorite part about it is he's in it for like 10 minutes and then they announce that he's Ugandan Bruce Lee.
He's
like
in
they
the movie
wait on
longer than Captain Alex. I think.
Captain Alex is probably about this. Well,
I'll check the.
it would be close because it was like 30 minutes and he died, and he showed up the next scene after he died. I like how she told him when they were gonna have Whoopi. she's like, you need to bathe yourself, and he's like really upset about it. And he's like,
I hate taking a bath.
yeah, he's like getting undressed like a kid. Like, I hate taking
It's like a
baths.
child.
Wash your penis.
And then he shot himself. Headcanon, but I think that's correct.
Yeah,
He shot
allegedly.
himself.
He shot
Alleged-
himself.
There was
Allegedly.
there was one line towards the end that I thought was really funny. It was like after Puff like destroyed the city in the helicopter, and they show they show the military guy watching the news, and
Doesn't he
like,
just
the
turn it
news-
off?
Well, no, they declare there's martial law, and I have the quote written down. He goes, "The city is completely safe. Believe me, Ugandans enjoy martial law."
Oh wow!
I forgot all about that. I remember he just
Yeah.
like ignores it
I wonder if
because he
that's-
wants to be on vacation. Remember, that was his whole thing. He didn't even want to help in the first place. I forget how they got him to help though. What did they say to him? Oh, there was
I don't
something they offered him, or there was a reason he helped, but I don't remember why.
Is it Puff the guy who is there's two helicopters and the one of the guys just shooting out the side like holding a gun gunning people
I thought he
down?
was a different mafia from the sound of it when he like
Maybe.
showed up.
Maybe.
And then because they were like, "Oh, you steal this and do as much as you can," and I thought he was a different mafia that just showed up out of nowhere and never was brought up again in the movie.
Whoever
But once again, I could have been wrong.
he just destroys the city.
he does. Yeah, their beef is with the commandos.
Why? Yeah, why did he destroy the city? I
They
think it was
wanted to
so they
distract the
blamed it.
police.
But see, I thought they were blaming it on the Tiger Mafia so that they would destroy them. I thought that was like what was going on, but like once again, like I said, there's definitely parts I wasn't fully aware of what was going
Yeah.
on.
Yeah,
But I
wasn't
like,
the
it
news
wasn't-
at the end like an actual like Ugandan war? Like, wasn't that like actually
Was it?
there
culturally
was
relevant?
a
Yes, I'm pretty sure it was.
Those were definitely real
there,
news clips.
yeah,
that
because
they
there,
just
there
Yeah, it
was a
was.
civil
over.
war. Not
that
too-
makes sense actually. Now that I think about
Not
it,
too long
I'm not
before.
up to date on the
God.
Ugandan politics, but I'm pretty sure it was like real,
yeah, I'm not like an expert. Well,
really what they were experiencing.
there's a lot of revolutions going on over there all the time, so
Yeah,
I didn't know that though. That is interesting to know. I hope all's well
yeah,
for
they
them.
definitely used real like news footage from something like chaotic in the city because that's actually what it looked like.
It is
Like,
also
when they were
nice- it
filming,
is
there was,
also
like,
nice
war
to see
going
the
on in
city.
Kampala.
Well, not seeing it destroyed, but to see a Ugandan city, that's nice to see in a movie because you wouldn't really see that featured
Kampala.
otherwise, Is that what it was? I couldn't remember. I didn't
The
want to like
capital of
butcher it.
Uganda.
Is that what the
Kampala.
capital of Uganda is?
Yeah, because the people
Oh,
in the
that's
movie were like
nice.
from the slums. Of
yeah,
Kampala.
They're-
they're from.
and their village.
They have cities
I'm gonna
in
butcher the
almost
name.
every country.
Oh yeah.
Their village name is Wakaliga, I believe. I'm probably butchering that. but-
They
Oh,
did
see,
mention it a
I
bunch. They were like telling you to visit their city and like
Yeah,
Yeah,
I definitely was happy we got to like talk about like an indie foreign movie, and I do hope we get to do that more. Like it was nice to get to do something for a movie that probably doesn't get as much attention as it should. Like yeah, it was a meme, but I assume not a lot of people really talk about the movie, which is stupid because it's a good movie. It's
Yeah.
worth watching. That's what I
Yeah.
want everyone to understand. Give it a shot. If you don't like the style, hey, you don't gotta watch it, but give it a
Yeah,
try at least.
yeah, you don't have to force yourself.
It's
to
not
like
going to
it.
land for everybody. And remember, it is a comedy.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
take the stick out of your ass and have some fun. Enjoy the movie.
lighten up, Cupcake.
I liked at the end when they were doing like during the credits, you got to see him like editing, and he had like his two kids like
Oh,
on the
dude,
computer.
It's so.
Oh,
sweet.
that's
And,
so
like,
cute. I wish I watched the
yeah.
credits now, but I didn't watch the credits.
yeah.
There was
I-
like, just
I
they
actually-
kept playing music.
I'm
and
an
people were
asshole.
dancing, It was so cool.
It's so sweet.
Thinking about that in
love it.
indie movies and shit like that, like low, like where it's not a lot of people working on it, you should watch the credits for stuff like that because
Yeah,
not
I-
maybe watch it, but at least acknowledge it.
The music of
Yeah.
this movie, didn't they
Post-credits stuff.
sample ABBA at like one random point
Yeah,
in the movie?
no,
Am I crazy?
Chris, why did they do that? It wasn't
don't know.
ABBA. It was a popular
It was.
There's-
song.
It's
Yeah, it was
it
ABBA.
didn't
Kiss
fit
from
at
a
all.
Rose.
Kiss, that's what it was. It was Kiss from a Rose.
Yeah.
It's like
Okay.
why?
Why-
What is the
why was
artistic
that in there?
intent of this song? Like
I-
I think you're
That's-
looking at the wrong way, Sam. Or Chris, why not? I think that was probably exactly what they thought.
If I may,
And
uh,
I think it hit
I
for
guess,
me
like,
because I
another-
laughed.
that might be a complaint of mine. Honestly, is the music because I feel like, and again, budget. But
I actually thought for $200. See, once again, maybe I'm being a little too nice on the budget. I thought they did well for what they had. You know,
But
like
see,
the
like-
music matched most of the time.
I don't think so. I think some scenes like it's like it doesn't match tonally. Like in the aftermath.
Maybe I
of,
wasn't paying enough attention to it, but
in
I
the
didn't remember.
aftermath of like when like as far as we know, Richard's wife gets killed, and then the other Tiger Mafia guys get like beat up, and they're outside. Like it's kind of like a down moment for those guys, but it's like this really uplifting music playing in the background.
I feel like the tonal mismatch is artistic intent.
I thought it
Maybe
was.
I'm just reading too much into it, but I feel like that was intentional.
I thought it was meant to be funny. Yeah, like
Yeah,
'cause, well,
exactly.
I thought Richard was supposed to be very well. See, once again, maybe I was putting too much into it because now that you say it, maybe I was. Sometimes maybe you are laughing at it and you think you're laughing with it. Not everything's perfect.
Yeah,
I didn't say the movie had to be.
Yeah, there are
but-
like hiccups along the way. But
Yeah, but I remember because I think I'm mostly thinking of the action scenes, which that might be a little that's a little easier just to put the music in. It's just something intense that you feel like you're into it. I remember that, and I forgot about the kiss from a rose though. What scene was that? I'm trying so hard to remember.
there's a couple scenes.
Did they do it more than once? I only remember the
there's
one
twice,
time
right? Yeah,
because it like messed with me. It like messed with me
It's so
hardcore
weird.
when I was paying attention. Was like, what the? Like, is something on
That
in the
reminds me-
background?
In the very beginning, when she's like singing at the bar, the narrator what's the narrator? VJ what?
VJ Emmy.
Oh, what does he call her? He
BJ
calls
Emmy.
her.
BJ Emmy's like
the video
"Hey,
joker."
Dolly
I don't
Parton.
Yeah,
Oh,
Dolly
sorry.
Parton. Dolly Parton. Well, that was cool to see though too, because it's like, what are they like in Uganda? That's from America,
Yeah. This movie's very clearly influenced by like those like 80s action movies where it's like
yes.
I thought it was cool that there's like the two wars and then there's all of a sudden this third plot point of like vengeance. I was like, this is like an 80s action movie.
I
it's
actually,
clearly,
it feels
from
like
that.
it's
Exactly, yeah.
spoofing. Kind of, I don't want to say spoofing, but it kind of is where it's like making fun of. If you've watched movies like, oh man, I can't think of what they're called, but like those where they're making fun of like martial arts movies where they just like dub over it. It has
Yeah.
those vibes to it. Like it's obviously not the same, but it's similar where like they take this just off the wall action movie where just insane stuff is happening and just like add commentary over it. And
Yeah, for some
it's
reason
so
these like
funny.
martial arts movies are like really popular in Uganda, and that was like it caught me off guard. How many like
They're
references?
very popular in a lot of places. It's actually a lot of places because we're so
I
spoiled
didn't
by
expect it though.
our large budget movies that those low budget martial arts movies, those were super popular for a long time and probably still are in like a lot of Asian countries, I assume, where martial arts is more prominent, I would assume. Because that's
Family
where the
Africa.
martial
Dude,
arts
it's
are
the
from.
whole Hong Kong cinema of like the
You
people
got-
jumping
hey.
around on wires and shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the old one with the wires. It definitely felt, especially if they're probably popular here too. Like you said, they're probably
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
popular in Uganda. They're fun movies. If you've never watched any of those old martial arts movies, we'll get around to one eventually. I hope. I have one I could pick easily, but it's clearly they're clearly. I don't say making fun of, but using those to make jokes out of. Because like any movie you watch, like you making fun of it doesn't mean you hate it. It's a movie. It's gonna be not real life. Yeah.
You make fun of your
Yeah.
friends. Like
Yeah,
it's like
Yeah.
that doesn't mean it's bad. I get what you're
Yeah.
saying.
It's
I had
completely out of love most of the time.
Yeah.
Most of the
I had-
time.
I had a question for you, John, and
Sure.
maybe Chris might be able to answer this too. But like, what do you think they use to edit this? Like, what software do you think would they use for this?
I have no idea. I could look up like the behind the scenes maybe, but
'Cause I was trying to think of like how they.
No, even like the
Some of those
title
effects.
card, like as soon as you see like the letters, the title of the movie, it's so it's such a generic like font.
Mhm.
I don't know. It feels.
I don't
It feels
know. I
like
don't
they used
remember the
whatever
title
was
card.
cheapest to them. I don't know.
It might be like a 2010 version of iMovie. Like they might have even updated.
It
some
feels
of
like
that
an
somehow.
iMovie graphic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's probably
Yeah.
exactly what
That's
it
what it
was.
is.
Now that
Yeah.
you say that, that's probably exactly what it was.
Well, I'm
but
pretty sure in the
it adds
credits,
to it. It adds to it.
when
They
he's on
used
the computer,
iMovie, they got the most out
has-
of iMovie.
his like
Yeah, they
keyboard
squeezed
looks like
every
an old
ounce out
Apple
of
keyboard.
iMovie.
I'm
The
pretty
one thing I would
sure-
like to ask is, do you think this movie will date well? Is a question.
I mean,
Do you think
Oof.
down the
This movie's
line?
13 years
13
old.
years later. Yeah.
Yeah, well, 13 years isn't like ridiculous though. Like that's not bad, but I'm saying like because there aren't a lot more movies like this still. You know, do you think down the line when more movies like this come out and even like cheaper movies look better, do you think it would affect it? I don't think that the look of it will matter at all.
I think
But
it'll be forgotten in like the U.S., but like
I
in other
think
countries.
I hope it gets
It-
remembered specifically for being the original, you know, no matter what. But obviously, I think as more movies like this come out and it becomes a little more fine tuned, you know, in how they do it, it might actually, if they do, if this ever picks up, I do think it might. I don't think it will ever lose like its popularity, but it would definitely be one of those more niche ones. Like if you think of like the old samurai movies and stuff that eventually became cowboy movies, not as many people remember samurai movies as they do cowboy movies. Which that also, I should be fair, we're American, so you know that's kind of an unfair comparison. So once America takes this and they make Who Killed Captain John, and then we'll forget about this.
I think this movie is going to be. I think it pretty much is immortalized because it was such a meme. Like I
Such a
remember in high
meme.
school seeing clips of this.
That's
Yeah,
true,
like
but
they're-
memes also feel immortal now. Who knows in a couple years? You know, like
yeah.
as
yeah, but
time
this
changes.
wasn't like a.
I'm not saying it will. I'm just hearing opinions. Sorry, I don't want to make it sound like
Yeah,
I'm
no,
saying
I get what you're saying. I'm trying to like articulate. Like, there's a difference between like the meme of the month and then people posting like "Who Killed Captain Alex" clips as like reactions. Like,
Yeah,
there's
but
a bit of difference.
That's the
between
thing about memes is they're so niche and like it's hard to tell what was really big. Like everyone knew it and it was within a field that you were into or something, like some random group that you were a part of, or whether it was really that big. Because I don't think realistically it's that big. Like I don't think everyone would know about Captain Alex, you
It's
know.
got 8 million
like-
views on YouTube.
I was gonna say.
I'm not saying it's not
I've
a
never
lot,
heard
but
of
I'm
it until-
I'm saying there's definitely a decent amount of people
Yeah.
I think that wouldn't have heard of it. Is
No,
what I
yeah,
mean by
yeah.
that.
Even the memes.
I think it's more
didn't
niche
know.
than you realize. I've seen memes, but I'd heard the name probably from YouTube, but I didn't really know much more else about it. And obviously, when John described it, that made me more interested because otherwise I'd have been like, I'm not watching some stupid movie, like you know, like so. John described it definitely made me more motivated to watch it, especially with like I said, the first like 10, 15 minutes, I was like, what is going on? Like I was like, what is happening right now?
I think the community that this movie is popular in right now will always remember it, and I think there will always be.
Oh,
that
it's definitely a
community of
cult.
people.
I should have specified that too. I think it will last as a cult movie. I don't think it will ever be more than that. For
Yeah,
sure.
and
I
it
don't
doesn't.
think it
It
will
doesn't
be.
have to be.
It doesn't have to be. No,
No.
there's plenty of amazing cult movies that don't get any recognition, but who cares? Fuck them. I like it. You know, like
Yeah.
I hope I hear about ones that I don't know about. You know, like there's people probably got great movies that I've never even heard of that just in their pocket to whip it out on me, and I'd be sick. I'd be like, why didn't I hear about this earlier? I'd
Yeah.
feel like a loser.
All
I
right.
think it's time we spin the wheel.
I agree.
I think that's a good
Yeah.
place to end it.
In the wheel.
Oh my god. Okay, I'm not
It's real
nervous,
time, baby.
but
Nervous.
I don't know
Why?
what kind of movie that I selected.
Wait, how is this gonna work?
It just
It'll-
just go with it, okay?
How are
Just
you
go
gonna
with
know?
it.
How is this gonna work?
Just go with it, okay?
It'll
Okay.
tell us.
I
I think.
guess.
Oh,
Oh,
Ooh.
oh,
Cole with the movie.
Cole hating, saying he wasn't gonna go again.
Okay. Okay.
Let's see it.
Okay, Cole, what do you have in mind?
I feel like I don't.
Oh my god.
Didn't pick a movie.
Yeah, I
Cole's
guess
nervous. Oh my
You did
god,
a
he's
nice
nervous.
not that much, but I think I'm gonna go with the first Indiana Jones movie because I know Sam hasn't seen it, and has anyone else seen it?
I've seen
I
it.
definitely haven't seen it. No.
Oh my god.
I've watched it.
First Indiana Jones. I'm down.
Yeah.
All right.
I think it's.
I'm down.
I've not seen it. I have not seen it.
I remember
It's been
I
a while
loved those
for
as
me.
a kid.
This might be
So,
the movie I've seen the most in my life.
Really?
Yeah.
Honestly, I think from start to finish, I think I've only ever watched it twice in my life. Like,
Mhm.
it's a good movie.
seen it
And
at
the
all.
last time I watched it was in high school. I'm pretty sure.
Plus, they are making a new one, so
Yeah,
Ooh.
that's why it's a good time. Good time to jump back and watch the original. Maybe we'll get around to watching Everyone But Four. No, you got to probably.
Uh,
Hey, Shia LaBeouf was in 4. Okay, I'm a big
Yeah.
Shia LaBeouf guy.
Just a reminder, get your
Oh
Film
my
Friends
God.
merch, okay? I promise the logo won't be as low. I fucked up when I made this one.
You can
But,
show it if you need
Buy your
to.
Film Friends merch.
Buy the
Link in the
merch.
description.
Link in the description.
thank you
I
for
will
watching.
also be
And,
providing the link to the Wakaliwood website if you feel inclined to
Yeah.
Please support the Patreon of the
of the
what's it called?
Of the
Wakaliwood.
guy.
Oh,
Hollywood.
Wakaliwood, that's what it's called.
Please support
Yeah.
them. Like
Yeah.
Show this movie
isn't-
some love.
If you
Yes.
enjoy it, and
Hey.
hey, look, you don't have to, but if you feel that you enjoy this movie, they could use it for
Yeah.
sure.
They
You know,
only
help
need
them
$200 for a movie.
Yeah, yeah,
Every
they-
little
200
bit counts.
They can do this with $200. We could pay for that ourselves. You know?
Yeah.
We get some more of
It's
this.
hard not to love this movie because of the personality. who
Yeah.
made it. Like,
You
I
definitely
fucking
feel
love
it.
that guy.
One thing I'm excited. I would like to see more just to know how much I like. If it keeps keeping
Your
my
style.
interest. Yeah. All right.
All right.
Peace out.
Indiana Jones, baby.
Goodbye.
Film Friends, episode 6.
See ya.
We love you.
Nah, that's a little too much.
We like you a lot.
Yeah,
but we can't.
I
commit-
can do that.
We can't commit.
We
Queen.
we associate.